Have you ever wondered if your cat feels bad after being naughty, or if they actually know they upset you? Cats don't say sorry the way we do, but that doesn't mean they don't feel deeply or recognize your emotions. And what if you're the one who hurt their feelings? Do they expect an apology from you too? Today, we'll reveal how cats apologize to humans, and how to say sorry to your cat in a way they actually understand. Do cats feel emotions like humans do? Let's start with a question that many cat parents quietly wonder. Do our cats actually feel emotions the way we do? Some people still believe cats are cold or aloof, but if you've ever been followed room to room, comforted by a soft headbutt when no one else understood, or woken by a gentle headbutt, then you already know that's just not true. Your cat does feel deeply, but they express it in quieter, more delicate ways. They don't smile or wag their tails like dogs, but when your cat lifts their tail upright as they approach you, that's their way of saying, "I'm happy to see you." They purr when they feel safe, knead when they're content, nuzzle you when they're feeling affectionate, and when they're overwhelmed, they slip under the bed or sit quietly at a distance, blinking at you slowly, saying everything without making a sound. And science backs this up. Your cat experiences a full spectrum of emotions: joy, sadness, curiosity, frustration, anxiety, and even grief. You might notice it when they lose a feline or human companion, after a move, or just a change in routine. Even being left alone for long hours can affect your cat more than you'd think. If your cat suddenly eats less, avoids play, grooms obsessively, hides, or seems off, these aren't random quirks, they're emotional reactions. The same way a person might pull away when something doesn't feel right. So no, cats don't express emotions like humans or dogs do. Your cat won't cry like we do, but they remember how they feel around you. That's why your bond matters so much, and why even small changes in how we respond can shape how safe, seen, and loved your cat feels each day. Do cats know when they've misbehaved? You catch your cat on the kitchen counter, pawing at your toast or licking the butter container. You say no, and they jump down, eyes wide. But do they know what they did was wrong? Not exactly. Your cat doesn't understand right or wrong the way we do. They're not acting out of spite or testing your patience, they're following instinct. Scratching the sofa, it keeps their claws healthy and marks territory. Knocking things off shelves, it's curiosity, not rebellion. Your cat may not feel guilty for scratching the sofa, but if you're upset, they know, and they care, just not the way we expect. But here's what they do understand: your reaction, your tone of voice, your facial expression, the way you suddenly go quiet or walk away. That shift in energy, your cat picks up on it faster than you think. Studies show cats are incredibly responsive to human cues. They recognize when your voice is calm or when it's sharp. They watch your face, your posture, and your movements, and they remember the outcomes. If jumping on the counter leads to a harsh tone, your cat may not feel guilt, but they do start to associate that action with your disapproval. And when your cat follows you afterward, sits near you, purrs or blinks slowly, it's not an apology in the human sense. It's their way of saying, "I felt the shift. I want things to be okay again." So no, your cat doesn't know they've misbehaved, but they know when the bond has shifted. And more often than not, they'll try in their own subtle way to bring the balance back and reconnect. How do cats know you're upset? You may not say a word, but your cat already knows something's off. Cats are incredibly tuned in to human emotions. They read your tone of voice, your posture, and even your facial expressions like an emotional radar. When you're happy, your voice is warmer, your face is softer, and your movements are relaxed. And your cat associates that with good things: treats, petting, play. But when you're upset, your voice tightens, your expression shifts, your energy changes, and yes, they notice. Studies from the University of Bari in Italy and the journal Animal Cognition show that cats can read human emotions through both sound and sight. They even recognize a smile versus a frown. So while your cat might not understand why you're upset, they definitely feel it. They react to your energy and adjust their behavior accordingly. They don't feel guilt, but they absolutely know when something isn't right between the two of you. Can cats actually apologize? You scold your cat for knocking over a plant. They bolt from the room, and 10 minutes later, they're gently rubbing their head against your leg. Was that an apology? Well, not exactly. Cats don't feel guilt the way humans do. There's no internal monologue of, "I shouldn't have done that." After a misstep, you'll never get a droopy-eyed, "I'm sorry" moment. And that's not because they don't care. It's because their emotions work differently. Instead, they will come sit on your lap. And in cat language, that's their way of saying, "I still want to be close, are we okay?" They don't understand right and wrong, but they do recognize when the emotional connection between you shifts. And that matters more than most people think. Cats value the bond with their humans, even though they seem independent, and yes, they could survive without us. Many cats form deep emotional attachments with their cat parents. When you're upset, they sense it, and more often than not, they try to bring things back into balance. That soft headbutt, the quiet blink from across the room, the warm body pressed against you after a moment of tension, it's not remorse, it's reconnection. It's their way of saying, I know something's off. I still want to be close. So no, cats don't apologize like we do, but they absolutely reach out when the bond feels broken. And if you know what to look for, you'll see they've been apologizing in their own way all along. So how do cats apologize? Here are the 10 clearest ways they try to reconnect. Number 10, purring. Purring isn't just a feel-good sound, it's a communication tool. Cats purr when they're relaxed, but also when they're trying to ease tension. They can't say, I'm sorry, but that quiet vibration, it's how they reconnect. Purring is comfort, safety, and sometimes reconciliation. So if your cat purrs after getting into trouble, it's not guilt. It's their soft, vibrating way of saying, we're okay, right? Think of it as their gentle way of apologizing and moving on. Number 9, head bumping or bunting. Picture this. Your cat walks up, leans in, and bumps their head gently against yours. That's not just affection, it's bunting, their way of marking you with scent. Cats have glands on their head that release pheromones, reinforcing familiarity and connection. So if they do this after getting scolded, it's not defiance. They're marking you as part of their inner circle. It's affectionate, intentional, and full of trust. And after a moment of tension, it's their quiet way of saying, we're still connected. Let's move forward. Number 8. Kneading or making biscuits. They climb onto your lap and start rhythmically pressing their paws into you. It's not just cute, it's primal. Kneading, also known as making biscuits, is one of the oldest behaviors cats carry into adulthood. As kittens, they press their paws into their mother's belly to stimulate milk. As adults, it signals comfort, trust, and sometimes emotional release. So if your cat does this after misbehaving, they're not just comforting themselves. They're reaching for closeness and offering peace in a silent apology in the softest way possible. Number 7, approaching you with tail up. You've just told them off, and a few minutes later, here they come. Tail straight up, tip curled slightly. It might not look like much, but in feline language, this is huge. A raised tail means comfort, friendliness, and openness to interaction. So when they do this after mischief, it's a subtle, graceful apology, written in body language. Their way of saying, please don't shut me out. I still want to be near you. Number 6, initiating play. You've just picked up the mess they made and suddenly, your cat drops a toy at your feet. It's not just cute timing, it's intentional. But what if I told you this playful moment is more than a distraction? Cats often initiate play to reduce stress and reestablish social bonds. So when they do this after being naughty, they're inviting reconnection in the way they know best, through movement, fun, and shared cozy moments. Call it a playful peace treaty, or maybe a tail-twitching, whisker-wiggling apology. Quick pause. Before we dive into the next one, please support our channel by tapping that like button and subscribing to join our cozy community of cat lovers. We're all about decoding cat behavior, strengthening your bond with your beloved kitty, and sharing the kind of insights that make life with your feline friend happier and more meaningful. Number 5, showing the belly. Ever noticed your cat flopping onto their back after being scolded? It might look playful, but in cat behavior, this is a big deal. The belly is where cats feel most exposed. Revealing it shows deep comfort and vulnerability. So if they do it after misbehaving, it's not by accident. It's a gesture of trust, and maybe even a soft, furry apology. Like they're saying, I'm open. I still trust you. Do you trust me too? Number 4, slow blinking. Did you know your cat can say sorry with their eyes? It's true. Slow blinking is one of the subtlest signs of feline affection. When your cat stares softly and blinks at you after doing something naughty, they're not ignoring it. They're reconnecting, visually, gently. Think of it as a blink-sized apology, like a tiny love letter written in blinks. Number 3, licking or nuzzling. You feel a tiny sandpapery tongue on your hand or a gentle nuzzle against your cheek. That's not just affection, it's an emotional gesture. In the feline world, grooming equals bonding and connection. So when your cat licks you after doing something they shouldn't, they're offering comfort and maybe even a humble, heartfelt apology. A reminder that despite everything, you're still theirs. Number 2, bringing gifts. Ever wonder why your cat delivers socks, receipts, or worse? Imagine walking into the room and there it is. It's not a toy mouse, it's a real mouse. It might not be your idea of a gift, but it's a big gesture for your furry companion. Bringing gifts is a social instinct rooted in feline care. And when your cat shares their prey, it's a sign of trust. So when your cat drops a gift after knocking over your coffee, they're trying to reconnect. It's their quirky, heartfelt apology. A funny little way of saying, I still want us to be good. Number 1. Sleeping near or on you. Your cat chewed your headphone cord this morning, but now they're curled up against your chest, purring softly. It's not just nap time, it's reconnection. Cats sleep where they feel emotionally secure. So when they choose you after a bit of chaos, that warm little body says more than words ever could. It's comfort, it's trust, and yes, it might just be their fluffiest apology. They may not say, I'm sorry, like we do, but if you've made it this far, you already know that cats do reach out when something's wrong. Their quiet gestures, the slow blinks, the soft purrs, the playful nudges are all tiny bridges back to trust. But sometimes we're the ones who break the connection. You didn't mean to. Maybe you accidentally stepped on their tail or stumbled over them in the dark. Maybe you raised your voice or pushed them away in a moment of stress. You felt bad immediately, but does your cat know that? Cats don't understand the human idea of apologizing the way we do. They might not grasp why it happened, but they do feel the emotional shift and they always notice when something's off. And if they're willing to reach out and reconnect after conflict, shouldn't we learn how to do the same? But how do you tell your cat you're sorry? And even if you do, will they understand? Because reconnecting after conflict doesn't just heal the moment, it deepens the bond. So let's break it down. Here's how to say, I'm sorry to your cat in a language they actually understand. Don't rush the apology. Your first instinct might be to fix things fast, to scoop them up, smother them with kisses, whisper, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it. But for your cat, that moment feels like pressure, not peace, and can make things worse. If you've startled your cat, raised your voice, stepped too close, or scared them unintentionally, the last thing they need is a human rushing in with hands and hugs. They need space, safety, and time to feel your calm before they trust it again. So the best first step? Don't chase. Don't grab. Don't overwhelm. Let them hide. Let them observe. Instead of approaching, let them come to you. Move gently. Speak softly. And most importantly, let them see that the tension is gone. Because that's what helps rebuild their sense of safety. Cats don't need grand gestures. They need consistency. They need stillness. And they need to trust that the storm has passed. That's what tells your cat, you're safe again. Wait for the right body language. You're calm now, ready to reconnect. But before reaching out, pause. Because your cat may not be ready yet, their body language speaks volumes, and knowing how to read it is everything. If their ears are flat, their tail low, or they're hunched and avoiding eye contact, they're still in self-protection mode. Pushing closer now might just widen the gap, but if their posture relaxes, their ears perk, tail rises, or they glance towards you with relaxed eyes, that's an invitation, an unspoken whisker-level signal that says, I'm ready to try again. That's the moment to gently reconnect. So don't rush that moment. Try a calm voice, a soft blink, maybe just sitting nearby without pressure. Because in the language of cats, timing is trust, and an apology begins with watching, waiting, and letting them invite you back in. The little things you do next. Rebuilding trust with your cat isn't about saying the right thing. It's about the little things you do next. If you've broken the connection, even by accident, your actions in the hours and days that follow matter most. Keep your tone soft, your movements gentle, and your energy predictable. Avoid sudden gestures or loud voices. Let your routines speak for you. Clean the litter box on time. Settle into familiar rituals. Make the world feel safe again. Reconnection doesn't happen in a single moment. It happens in the calm, consistent rhythm that follows. Because your cat doesn't hold grudges, they hold memories, and if every little interaction says, you're safe with me, I care about how you feel, not just today, but always, that's what earns their trust back. Peace in small gestures. Sometimes reconnection starts with a peace offering, not grand gestures, just something small, familiar, reassuring. As the saying goes, actions speak louder than words. If your cat is still unsure after a tense moment, a peace offering can gently reopen the door. It doesn't have to be big, their favorite treat, a cozy blanket, or a slow, playful flick of their toy. These small gestures tell your cat, I see you, I respect your pace, and I want to make things right. Just make sure it's offered without pressure. Place it nearby and let them come when they're ready. In their world, this kind of gesture isn't bribery, it's bridge building. It's your way of saying, I'm here when you're ready, after the storm. Apologizing after vet visits or big stressors. Sometimes it's not a sudden mistake that shakes your cat, it's a bigger event. A stressful vet visit, a loud family gathering, renovations, even a small change in routine can rattle their sense of safety. You didn't mean to cause distress, but to your cat, it felt like the world shifted. So what now? The first step is creating calm. Lower the noise, dim the lights, Offer their favorite hiding spot or blanket. If you have a feline pheromone diffuser, use it. It mimics the scent of safety and helps restore emotional balance. Your energy matters too. Move slowly, speak gently, be predictable. You're not just soothing their fear, you're restoring the bond. But don't force reconnection. Just let them know, I see you. I understand this was hard. I'm here. These moments are your chance to rebuild trust, not through words, but through quiet understanding and peaceful presence. What not to do? When emotions run high, it's easy to react without thinking. You mean well, you feel awful, and you just want to make it right. But what brings you comfort, even well-intentioned gestures, might overwhelm your cat. Don't rush in with loud apologies or try to pick them up the moment something goes wrong. Cats aren't like dogs, they don't respond well to sudden closeness when emotions are high. Don't force eye contact, don't corner them. And as tempting as it is, don't scoop them up or smother them with affection unless they've clearly invited it. Even kisses or hugs meant as love can feel overwhelming to a startled cat. And never ever punish. Yelling, clapping, or swatting doesn't teach your cat a lesson. It teaches them fear, and fear is the fastest way to break trust. If your goal is to reconnect, lead with gentleness, not control. Cats don't hold grudges, but they do remember how you made them feel. And remember, the path to forgiveness isn't paved with force. It's built through calm presence, respect for boundaries, and letting your cat choose closeness on their terms. How to know you've been forgiven? You're not going to hear the words, I forgive you. But if your cat has moved from hiding under the bed to sitting in the same room again, that's progress. Forgiveness from a cat isn't loud, it's subtle. You'll see it in their posture, relaxed muscles, their tail lifting a little higher, ears forward. Maybe they approach, maybe they don't, but they're watching, quietly testing the waters. And then they blink softly in your direction, or maybe curl up in your favorite chair, just a few feet closer. These are the quiet signals that the distance is fading. It's not grand, but it's genuine. And if your cat rubs against your leg or purrs softly as you walk by, that's your moment. It means they feel safe. Not all cats bounce back at the same pace. Some need hours, others days. But when they choose to be near you, the message is clear. They've moved forward and they're ready to reconnect. Common actions that could damage your cat's trust. Some actions don't feel wrong in the moment until your cat starts pulling away. Ever tried trimming your cat's nails and ended up in a wrestling match neither of you enjoyed? Or pick them up for a hug, only to get the side eye for the next 2 hours? Cats may forgive accidents, but repeated stress, that gets stored. If you regularly force your cat into situations they clearly dislike, like cradling them like a baby, or pushing them to interact with loud guests, you're teaching them that your presence equals discomfort. Even well-meaning actions, when repeated, can chip away at trust. Startling your cat with loud noises, sudden movements, or objects they fear can also leave an imprint. Over time, they may not flinch just from the sound, but from you. So, if your cat always vanishes at the sound of nail clippers or hides when certain visitors arrive, that's not moodiness, that's memory. Good news? You can reverse it by respecting limits, being patient, and never mistaking obedience for trust. Constantly yelling or hitting your cat can also damage their trust. Let's be clear, punishment doesn't correct behavior in cats. It doesn't teach them lessons, it teaches them fear. Yelling, clapping, spraying water, or worst of all, hitting might stop the behavior in the moment, but the cost is steep. Your cat may start associating you with unpredictability and danger. And here's something most cat parents don't know. Cats have short-term memory spans of about 16 hours, which means a one-time accident, like stepping on their tail, is likely to be forgotten. But cats also form associative memories. If you repeatedly frighten or mistreat them, even subtly they remember. Not because they hold grudges, but because they're wired to protect themselves. So what's the right way to reconnect? Not control, not guilt, but connection. Offer treats strategically, not as bribes, but as trust-building gestures. Sit nearby, let them approach. Use play to invite joy back into the space without pressure. A few minutes of gentle, interactive play each day can rebuild confidence and soften emotional distance. Because healing doesn't happen through discipline. It happens through safety, repetition, patience, and a calm, consistent, caring presence. Quality time is the ultimate apology. Your cat doesn't need a perfect apology speech. They just need you, calm, kind, and consistent. Because when cats say sorry, they do it with soft blinks, quiet paws, and cozy closeness. And when it's our turn to say sorry, it's not about the words. It's the time you spend, the gentle tone, the way you stay present, even after a rough moment. So offer a soft pet, sit nearby, nap together, because quality time is the truest apology they understand, and the one they'll always remember. Now it's your turn. What's your cat's way of saying we're okay? A blink? A headbutt? A full-on flop onto your keyboard mid-meeting? Share your stories in the comments. We'd love to hear them. By the way, there's another video packed with cat behavior tips your feline friend secretly hopes you'll learn. Click the next video on your screen to keep decoding the subtle ways cats speak to the humans they trust. Because understanding your cat's emotional language is just the beginning of a connection that grows deeper every day. We're Brownie and Pirate from Meowtivation Tales. Thanks for watching our guide on how to make peace with your cat. Now here's how we say it's cool. Apology accepted, but I'm still taking the pillow tonight.